If you're behind on your mortgage or you know someone who is, I need you to hear me clearly. Your house is not automatically gone, but your timeline is not your friend. And this is where people get themselves hurt, not because they're bad people, not because they are irresponsible, not because they don't care. They get hurt because they freeze, they avoid the mail, they trust the wrong person, or they wait until the bank has more control than they do. I have worked with distressed sales and people in crisis for years. I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. Panic is expensive. Shame is expensive. Avoidance is very expensive. So today we are talking about short sales, pre-foreclosures, and what this looks like in a market where inventory still is tight. Prices are stubborn, and the headlines are trying to make everybody act like the sky is falling. It is not that simple. It never really is. Hi, I'm Crystal, and I've been licensed for 23 years. And real estate for me has never just been about unlocking doors and posting pretty kitchen photos. That is not my ministry. That's not my personality. I'm not here to fluff you into a decision. I'm here because real estate is where people's lives, money, relationships, stress, fear, and future all collide. Sometimes beautifully, and sometimes like a dumpster fire with paperwork. And when somebody is facing pre-foreclosure, divorce, job loss, medical bills, a death in the family, or just a payment that no longer works, they do not need judgment. They need a strategy. So let's get into it. What is actually happening in the market? First, let's separate facts from fears. Yes, foreclosure activity is up. Adam reported that 118,727 U.S. properties had foreclosure filings in the first quarter of 2026. That's up 26% from a year earlier. And foreclosure starts were up 20% year over year. Mortgage delinquencies are also up. The Mortgage Bankers Association reported that the delinquency rate for 1 to 4 unit residential mortgage loans rose 4.44% at the end of the first quarter of 2026. So yes, more households are under pressure. But no, this does not mean automatically we are drowning in distress inventory. That's actually a really lazy take, and I really don't do lazy takes. NAR's April 2026 existing home sales data still describe inventory as tight, with multiple offers still happening in some situations, even though homes are taking longer to sell. So we have two things happening at once. We have more homeowners feeling financial pressure, and we still have a market where inventory is not normal. That creates a strange little pressure cooker. For buyers, distressed properties sound like opportunity. For sellers, pre-foreclosure can feel like public humiliation. For agents, it requires actual skill, not I made a Canva graphic skill, timeline management, pricing strategy, lender communication, documentation, negotiation, and emotional steadiness. Because when someone is in distress, every wrong move gets more expensive. Distress does not mean dumb. It means someone is under pressure, and pressure requires strategy, not shame. Pre-foreclosure does not mean foreclosure. Let's define this, because people throw around these words like confetti. Pre-foreclosure generally means the homeowner has missed payments and the lender has started or is moving toward the legal process that would eventually lead to foreclosure. The exact timeline depends on the state, loan type, lender, and where they are in the process. A short sale, however, is different. A short sale happens when the home sells for less than what is owed, and the lender has to approve taking less than the full payoff. But here is the important part. Not every pre-foreclosure is a short sale. In fact, in this market, a lot of homeowners still have equity. Cotality reported that even though borrower equity declined nationally at the end of 2025, the average borrower still had about $295,000 in accumulated home equity. That matters because if someone has equity, the goal may not be a short sale. The goal may be selling quickly and intelligently enough to protect that equity before fees, penalties, legal costs, and time start chewing through it like a rat in a trash bag. That was vivid, I know, but it's accurate. The question is not, am I in foreclosure? So am I doomed? The question is, how much time do we have? How much equity do we have? What does the lender need? What does the market support? And what is the cleanest path out? That is a very different conversation. The biggest mistake I see distressed sellers make is waiting until they are emotionally ready. And I say that with compassion, not with judgment. When your money is stressed, your nervous system is stressed. When your house is at risk, it is not just a financial problem. It feels personal. It feels embarrassing. It feels like failure. And sometimes people would rather disappear than to make that phone call. But real estate timelines do not care about your feelings. I wish they did, but they do not. The bank is not going to say, you know what, Crystal, she just needed a regroup week. Let's pause the legal process. That's not how this works. When you wait, you lose options. You may lose the ability to list traditionally. You may lose negotiation leverage. You may lose buyer confidence. You may lose equity. You may lose the chance to pursue lender workout options. And if you wait long enough, you may lose control of the sale altogether. This is why I tell people, if you are worried, call early, not when the auction date is breathing down your neck, not when your cousin's friend who does investing has offered you some nonsense number in cash. Early, because early is where the options live. The biggest mistake distressed sellers make is waiting until they feel emotionally ready. The bank is not waiting for your nervous system to calm down. Now, let's take a moment to talk about low inventory, because this is where the 2026 market is weird. In a market with low inventory, a distressed seller may actually have more leverage than they think if they act early enough. That does not mean they can overprice the house and manifest a miracle. Now, please don't make me fight the manifestation people today. I have had coffee, but not enough. It means if the property is priced correctly, marketed honestly, and positioned with the right timeline, there may be a real buyer demand. The National Association of Realtors reported 4.4 months of inventory in April of 2026, and economists are still describing supply as tight. But distressed properties have their own rules. If the home needs repairs, we have to price for condition. If the seller needs lender approval, we have to explain that process clearly. If there is a looming deadline, we have to structure the listing strategy around that deadline. If there are multiple lien holders, unpaid taxes, HOA balances, divorce issues, probate issues, or title problems, we need to know that before the buyer is sitting there wondering why nobody knows what's happening. Because uncertainty kills deals. And in a distress sale, the job is not pretend everything is fine. The job is to create as much certainty as possible inside an uncertain situation. That is where experience matters. The short sale reality check. If the home is truly underwater and a short sale is needed, you need to understand that the buyer and the seller do not get to just shake hands and ride off into the sunset. The lender has to approve it. That means documentation, financial hardship, payoff information, a purchase contract, and sometimes multiple rounds of review, sometimes a valuation dispute, sometimes waiting, sometimes a lot of waiting. This is not a cute little 3-day negotiation. It just isn't. And for buyers watching this, let me lovingly ruin your fantasy. A short sale is not automatically a steal. Sometimes it is a deal. Sometimes it's a patience test with appliances. You need to know what you are buying, what inspections you can do, what the lender will not approve, how long you can wait, and whether your financing can survive the timeline. For sellers, a short sale may reduce damage compared with a foreclosure, but it's not something to DIY from a Google search at midnight while eating cereal over the sink. Talk to the right professionals, and that may include a real estate agent experienced with distressed sales, a housing counselor, an attorney, a tax professional, and the loan servicer. I know it sounds like a lot. It is a lot. Crisis is a lot, but coordinated help is very different from chaos. A short sale is not a cute little 3-day negotiation with a lender-approved exit strategy, and the details matter. Who is this market most dangerous for? The people I worry about the most are not always the people with no options. Sometimes the people I worry about the most are the people with just enough equity to save themselves, but not enough time to make mistakes. Because if you bought recently, used a low down payment, paid near the top of the market, took on repairs, or had life hit you sideways, your cushion may be thinner than you think. Cotality reported that negative equity has increased and that more homeowners could fall into negative equity if prices decline by 5%. That does not mean panic. What it means is pay attention. If you are one missed paycheck away from trouble, if you are choosing between the mortgage and everything else, if you are already behind, if your divorce agreement depends on selling, if the house has become a battlefield instead of an asset, please do not wait for embarrassment to make decisions for you. Embarrassment is not a financial advisor. What should I do if I'm behind or worry? Here is the practical part. First, open the mail. I know, rude, but open it. Second, call your loan servicer and ask what options exist. If you want to understand whether there are repayment plans, modifications, partial claims, forbearance-related options, or other loss-mitigated paths available for your type of loan. Third, figure out your actual equity position, not what Zillow says, not what your neighbor thinks, not what your uncle said at a cookout. Actual likely market value minus loans, liens, closing costs, late fees, and selling costs. Fourth, talk to someone who knows distressed sales before you sign anything from an investor buyer or we buy houses person. Some are legitimate, some are not. And when people are scared, predators can smell it. Decide whether the goal is to keep the house, sell the house, or buy time to make the least damaging decision. Those are different strategies. Keeping the house requires one plan. Selling with equity requires another. Short sale requires another. Foreclosure defense or legal intervention is yet another. Bankruptcy is now yet another. Now, I am not your attorney and this is not legal advice, but I am telling you, do not treat every problem like the same problem, because it is not. Here's what I want you to take from this. Pre-foreclosure is serious, but it's not the same thing as being out of options. Short sales may become more visible as delinquencies and foreclosure starts rise. But this is still a low inventory market where many homeowners have equity and many situations can be handled before they become financial wreckage. If you are in this situation, I'm not here to shame you. Life happens. Job loss happens. Divorce happens. Medical bills happen. Family emergencies happen. Bad loans, they happen. Bad advice, that definitely happens. But silence does not protect you. Strategy does. If you are even worried that you might be headed towards pre-foreclosure or know someone who is, talk to someone now. Not because you are failing, because your future and that of those you love deserves more than panic and paperwork. And if you know someone going through this, send them this video, not with judgment, send it with love. Hey, I don't want you to get eaten alive by a process you don't understand. That is the whole point. Real estate is not just houses, it's people. And when the stakes are high, you need someone who can stay calm, tell the truth, and build a plan. I'm Hawkins-Syska, your real estate advisor, making real estate crystal clear.